Right, recording.
Nice to meet you, Scott. How's the tour gone then, so far?
Good so far. I mean, I think this is the 5th show, so it's kind of just getting started.
Yeah. It was in, well, the Eastern European countries the tour started, wasn't it?
Where it started?
Yeah,
no.
Well, this year. I can't remember that.
No, we just started in Karlsruhe, Germany.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere in here.
Yeah, we just did 2 German shows and then come here for 4 in the UK and then back to mainland for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, sounds good, good. What so far for you personally has been that highlight of your career with Carnifex?
I don't know if it's just one thing, you know, just being able to just kind of continually do it and have the band do well enough to be able to consider it a job. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of as a whole, not so much one thing in particular.
Now, Carnifex has got quite a few years of like gigs and albums underneath the belt. How do you feel the sound has progressed since forming to now?
I think we've gotten better, you know what I mean? Everybody's kind of learned their own instrument better. You know, I've become a better vocalist since we started, and you know, the rest of the guys have become better musicians with each of their instruments. And I just think we've kind of have maybe more of our own vision for our music rather than, you know, maybe trying to keep up with what's going on with everybody else, you know?
Yeah. What are your plans for the next release then?
Next release?
Yeah.
I mean, we just put our record out a couple months ago, so I'm not planning anything for the next release.
Alright then. You're booked to be touring with Flesh God Apocalypse in the States late this year. How are you feeling about that?
It'll be exciting. We toured with them once before.
Yeah. What would you say is like the biggest influence on Carnifex's music then?
That's hard to say. I mean, everybody in the band writes, you know, and everybody has kind of like a different favorite band or a different biggest influence, so it'd be hard to say one band name, you know, because like I said, everybody writes, so I don't know that I could just give one name, you know, it wouldn't really make sense, probably.
Speaking of like everyone writing the songs, how does the typical Carnifex songwriting process then?
Basically, you know, everybody kind of puts their ideas down, kind of in like a demo form.
Yeah.
And then we all kind of sit down and listen to them, try and put stuff that works together, or groups of riffs with other groups of riffs that work together, and kind of build the song that way. And then just kind of go through a refining process of arranging just to get it where we're happy.
Carnifex means executioner in Latin. Why did the band go with that name? You know, they try to sort of portray a certain image with the name.
Well, I mean, when we named the band, you know, we had no idea. If we were just a band. We weren't planning on trying to tour or anything like that. We just let's start a band, you know. So I don't think we really put much thought into it. Just thought it sounded good.
Well, speaking of which, when Carnifex first formed, did you ever think that you get to the point where you're at now, like touring Europe and stuff?
No, didn't even think about it. Just doing another band, you know. Didn't even think about it.
What are your feelings towards the metal scene at the moment compared to when Carnifex first formed? Do you think that the scene's improved or gotten worse or somewhere in between?
I don't know. I don't really. Be honest, I don't know. It's about the same, you know.
What would you say? I've been throughout the time that Carnifex has been together. What would you say have been the best and worst shows you've played?
Well, best shows, I mean, we've had a lot of great shows over the years, you know, played like some great festivals with Full Force and Summer Breeze and Brutal Assault and stuff like that, and able to play like New England Metal Fest and California Metal Fest back in the States. Worst shows, I don't know, I mean, a bad show for me is a show, it usually doesn't depend on the crowd. It's like if there's like a gear problem or some type of technical problem. But that's when I get disappointed. So I don't really try to remember those, so I couldn't say.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the shows that disappoint me, is if there's some type of gear problem or technical problem.
Yeah. Are there any bands that you'd like to tour with in the future?
Yeah, sure. I mean, tour with Chemical Corpse someday would be nice.
Yeah.
Tour with In Flames someday would be nice. Bodom, Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Some bands that could, put us in front of some new people would be fun.
Yeah. I think Melissa's got a few questions
I've got a
for you
few
now.
questions for you.
Cool.
Hi. Right, so Carnifex, you describe yourselves as a band who continue to entice and surprise an audience that certainly isn't shocked by much and is definitely impressed by little. So how do you keep your live act interesting and varied for fans that have seen you more than once?
I'm sure that was something written by a label. I never heard that before. I certainly didn't
It was
say
on your Victory Records page, that was all.
There you go. I don't know. I never heard that before. But we just try to put on a good show. You know what I mean? People buy a ticket and they look forward to coming to a show. So we just try to make it fun and exciting, make it something where they want to come back and see us again.
You've toured the US, you've played South by Southwest, and you're in the middle of the Bonecrusher tour, which is a UK tour. How would you compare the experience of touring in the UK as opposed to touring in America?
Well, Bonecrusher is actually, it's full European tour. The tour in UK, it's, I don't really feel like we have the following here that we do in mainland or back in the US. So it's okay. It's kind of smaller shows, smaller production, but it's still fun. The people that do come out are, they're supportive and passionate. So it's good. Not as we just don't have the following here that we do in mainland or back in the US.
You talked about how everybody in your band has different influences. Not necessarily an influence, but of artists, metal, non-metal, currently alive, or in the past. If you had to pick one that you respect the most, who would it be and why?
One artist that I respect the most?
Yeah.
I don't know, that'd be very difficult. If I had to kind of pick one, which I wouldn't normally do, I'd probably pick Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, but not just for his art, but also kind of how he handles his business, very independent, doesn't give up much creative control or just kind of overall business control of his band, which I think is important, especially because most labels and people in the industry, they're just looking for themselves. You're just a product. They don't care for the person behind them. So being able to control your own business is worth a lot. So it's something that we look forward to.
Which is your favourite song to perform and why?
I don't have a favorite. Just whichever one we're doing at the time. Whichever song gets me to the next one.
If you were given an infinite amount of money, but you had to spend it all on the band, what would you do? What would you do with that money?
If it was an infinite amount of money, the shows would be free. So we would need to charge people. I don't know. Just better production. Try to make the show as exciting as possible. Put all our friends' bands on it and pay them.
How would you describe Carnifex in 5 words or fewer?
I don't know. Just trying to work hard, trying to get our name out there. Stay busy.
Is there anything that you'd like to add?
Just come out to the show tonight or come out to the rest of the tour.
Thanks for that, Scott.
Cool. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, mate. Cheers.